Mark Rogers TV talking Miami football with Cam Underwood. He's our guy from State of the U, provides the best in Miami football coverage. Cam, I try to provide a little resistance, a little challenge to some of your statements, but at times I throw up a softball because I like to see you bow your chest and speak proud about the U. And this is going to be one of those, but there's intent here because every coach hits media days, hits the podium, and we all know that at least the smart coaches, the ones that have been around, they're speaking to a specific audience. Maybe they're sending a message to their team. And I'm not just talking about media days. Anytime they speak in a public forum, sending a message to their team, speaking to recruits, speaking to the fan base, they're sending a message. So that always has to be taken into consideration and kind of interpreted. They're always going to hit media days and brag about the conference and how great the conference is and how optimistic they are about this particular team. Mark Richt hit the podium, taking all that into consideration, that I'm sure he did the same thing at Georgia, but he genuinely sounded like the right guy for the Miami job. Like he's finally home. He's getting settled. He's got his staff in place. He threw out the term paradise. This is where I should be. And now it's just about doing all the right things, getting the right players in here and winning.
Yeah, and that's a good place to be. It's kind of like as you grow up and you're in high school and you try to fit in with what other people or what you think other people want to be friends with, or the cool kids. So you window dress what it is that you think other people would value. And after a while, you really just come to a sense of self where you say, you know what, I value who I am and what I do. And those who appreciate that will be around me. And I think that that's, where the transition from Al Golden to Mark Richt went. It was always kind of reactionary with Al Golden of I'm trying to say this or I want to do that or whatever. And Mark Richt just says, look, I've done this for a long time. I know what my foundation is. I know where I am because I went here. This is my school and I love it. And I have a family. I'm a family man. He's a God-fearing man. He's a very, extroverted Christian. And, when you talk about offense, he says he knows what he wants to do there. When you talk about defense, he brought in people to run that side of the ball, recruiting-wise. He's not looking for answers. He's picked out what his paradigm and his program is going to be, and then he's just walking that out. And there's a comfort in that because you're not searching for a sense of self. You're just trying to be that best version of yourself that you are confident in. And yeah, that's really what I think that I'm getting from Mark Richt. And yeah, he wasn't as successful at the end of his tenure at Georgia as he would have liked, but he was doing the whole CEO coach where he delegated way too much and wasn't integrated in the day-to-day operations. And he's changed that. The way that he's recruited, he's changed that. When we talk about our coaching staff, Craig Kuligowski was approached by, it was reported, the Atlanta Falcons to take their defensive line coach position. And then we promote him to associate head coach and pay him more money. When you talk about Manny Diaz, they pay him plenty of money. When you talk about Thomas Brown, they pay him plenty of money, I'm sure. Ron Dugans. So same thing. So when you have all those things, you can build the kind of program that you want to have. And, you bring in guys like Ephraim Banda at safeties coach, and he's doing a fantastic job, both on the field coaching and recruiting. You bring in a Todd Hartley at tight ends coach and special teams coordinator, doing the same kind of a thing. Stacy Searles at offensive line coach, who had an up and down track record before, similar to Manny Diaz, and he's done a really great job recruiting and coaching. So everything just seems to be settled, and I like that. It's not where, you're going into the 2017 season operating from a position of strength. And whether that's, mental, emotional, physical, operational, whatever you want to call it. But, in the past, it was, okay, well, we hope that Miami does this and we hope that Miami does this, other thing. But now it's like we have the best coaching staff in the Coastal. We have the most talent on this team in the Coastal, even with some attrition and getting rid of some other, fringe players who would have maybe been rotation guys. But man, this is starting to look like what the Miami Hurricanes should look like on the field, off the field, doing great things in community service. Demetrius Jackson was named to the All-State AFCA Good Works team, and he could very well win that top award for his efforts in community service. So you have guys who are, excelling in so many different areas. And that's really what we want to see. And Mark Richt is leading us, I believe, in a proper direction so that, as we spoke about previously, how Miami has not ever won the Coastal Division of the Atlantic Coast Conference, that should be a thing of the past. When you look at, teams vying for that top spot on that side of the division, it should be Miami number one because of talent and program structure and achievement, and then everybody else. And as we go that way, hopefully that will be borne out on the field. But overall, I am very excited for where this team is. I'm very excited for the projection of what can happen this year. And, selfishly, I run a Miami Hurricanes website, and there's been very few times that I've been able to be cocky Miami fan where I just really get to let all the bravado out and, go back to the golden days of when I was in college from 2000 to 04. And, I just talk down to everybody and we win this game and we're not worried about you and we're going to go on here. We're going to do this and we're going to win that and we're going to, all those kind of things. And I'm ready for that. And that's going to happen this year. This is going to be a top 10 team. And I'm excited for the kind of content that we're going to have for you, because trust and believe, I've been waiting a long time for this to happen. And I'm going to take full advantage of it. So when we are successful as we're going to be this year, you're going to hear about it from me and from all the guys at State of the U, because we're going to be hyped and we are ready for this moment. And this is the feeling that you should have going into a Miami Hurricanes football season. And I, for one, cannot wait.